This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Wednesday, May 12. In Squiz Kids today, kids Instagram backlash, social distancing on Mt Everest, space rock heads to Earth, and a tiger on the loose in Houston. That's what's making news, kid style.
The Lowdown.
A plan by Instagram to create a version just for kids has been slammed by lawmakers in 44 of the 50 states in America over concerns that kids under the age of 13 are not mentally equipped to cope with social media. Social media platforms like Instagram and Snapchat are popular with teenagers, but they have also been criticised widely for how easy they make it for bullies to target vulnerable young people and the negative effect they can have on kids' self-esteem and confidence. That they make kids worry unnecessarily about how many followers they have, how many likes they get, that sort of thing. Many parents also worry about their children's privacy on the internet when using social media. According to critics of the under 13's Instagram plan, kids are just not old enough yet to always be aware of the impact that social media can have on their lives. Instagram's owners say that kids are online anyway and that the new service will simply make it easier for adults to keep track of their children's online activities. But the lawmakers in the US say there are many safer ways for kids to keep in touch with family and friends. Currently, no one under the age of 13 is allowed to be on Instagram. And I know how much you all follow the rules, so I'm going to assume that this story doesn't affect any of you, right?
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed on top of the world, at the summit of Mt Everest in the country of Nepal, where plans are being drawn up to make the highest mountain in the world COVID safe. Mt Everest sits on the border of China and Nepal, and with the mountain climbing season in the Northern Hemisphere about to kick off again, China has decided to divide the summit down the middle to keep travellers from other parts of the world from mingling up there with Chinese climbers. Did you know that the summit of Mt Everest is a patch of snow so small that it can only fit 6 people at a time, and that on a good climbing day in summer there's a queue to reach the summit? So I guess that's 3 on each side of the dividing line. Social distancing summit style. Only in 2021.
Animal Kingdom.
What is it about big cats and zoo escapes this week? Yesterday we brought you the story of the leopard on the loose in the Chinese city of Huangzhou. And today there was news of a Bengal tiger on the loose in the American city of Houston after it too had escaped from a private zoo. Residents in a suburb of the big city in Texas could hardly believe their eyes when they looked out their front windows to see a tiger walking casually down their street. Local authorities later said that the tiger belonged to a local man, who is also believed to have pet monkeys. In the United States, it's estimated some 5,000 tigers are kept as pets. And while that might sound really cool to have a tiger as a pet, animal rights campaigners say that it's cruel to keep a wild animal as a domestic pet. My dog Louie is sitting at my feet right now, even as I record this. And while he's not wild, he certainly does some very stinky farts. Oh no, Louie, not again.
Spaced out.
Remember a while back we talked about a rocket ship that was sent from Earth to hover around an asteroid and every now and then pop down onto the asteroid's surface to collect rock samples? No? Well, I don't blame you. There are so many rockets flying around up there, it's busier than the main street of your hometown in peak hour. But the rocket I'm talking about is called OSIRIS-REx, and it was sent up into space 3 years ago and has spent the last few months collecting samples of rock from an asteroid which is orbiting the Sun. The exciting news? It's collected heaps of rock samples which scientists cannot wait to get their hands on to study. The bad news? The asteroid is so far away from Earth, it's going to take OSIRIS-REx 2 whole years to fly home.
Q&A call out.
Well, well, well. What an enthusiastic bunch of footy fans you all are. After our call out yesterday for the upcoming Squiz Kids Q&A with AFL star Josh Dunkley, we were flooded with questions. Yes, you heard right, we've joined forces with Swysh to convince AFL star Josh Dunkley to take the Q&A hot seat and answer your questions. Josh is a seriously good midfielder with the Western Bulldogs, a premiership-winning AFL player and one of the nicest blokes in the league. He's also a proud member of the Swish community, a great new service providing everyday Aussies with personalised video messages from their favourite sports stars. It's an awesome gift for birthdays and big celebrations, and every Swish video raises money for charity. Maybe you want to know what position Josh played as a young footy player with Gippsland Power, or how he got his big break in the professional league, or what his tips are for anyone wanting to follow in his footsteps. Send through any questions you might have for Josh to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. And for more information about Swish, check out heyswish.com. That's Swish with a Y, or see the link in today's episode notes. Oh, and don't forget, the best question gets a free, personalised video message from Josh himself. How cool is that?
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Which social media platform is in trouble for proposing a version just for kids? That's right, it's Instagram. Question number 2. What's the name of the tallest mountain in the world? You got it, it's Mt Everest. Question number 3. What sort of animal is on the loose in Houston, Texas? Yeah, it's a tiger.
Shout outs.
It's May 12, the 80th birthday of my dad, Peter. Happy birthday, Dad. And also the birthday of Homer Simpson, oddly enough. Though I would never suggest my dad has anything in common with Homer Simpson. Mind you, he does like donuts. Plus, it's International Nurses Day. Nurses all over the world do such amazing work. If you know a nurse, give them a hug for me. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Avina from Cherrybrook, Amber from Kings Langley, Gemma from Tingalpa, Roan from Abbotsford, Kira from Bellevue Heights, Mia from Wallaroo, Sam from Mansfield, Edie from Bathurst, Ashmit from West Ryde, Liam from Forest Lake, Jazan from Cranbourne, Vish from Holsworthy, Kai from Epping North, Hermes from Sydney, and Nate from Ingham. And some belated birthday shout-outs to Clementine from Canberra and Kesha from Ingham. And today's classroom shout-outs go out to Mrs. Fordham and Mrs. Camacho's Year 5 class at St. Joseph's in Oatley. 5K with Mrs. Knowles at Jindalee State School. Class 3 4C and Ms. Crichter at Shoal Bay Public School. And all the Year 6 kids at Scott's Head Public School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, you know what to do. Get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out. Squiz Kids is proudly supported by the Judith Neilson Institute for Journalism and Ideas.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.